It was 1973. It was in May, and it was the day of the prom from high school. And I was graduating senior year, and we were going over, me and my two friends, to get a tent down for the party after the prom up at the beach. And we were getting the tent down, and a friend of mine got up on a little ladder, and he was pulling at the tent. And I looked up and said, just pull it down. And I look up in this round plastic container, like a Tupperware container. It was full of gasoline, sitting on a 2x4 rafter. And when I looked up, it fell over, and I caught it like this, like you'd catch a football. And it just collapsed and drenched me in gasoline. And so I remember thinking, oh my Lord, I got to get these clothes off. And then I went to undo my pants, to try to pull my pants down, and because they were just drenched in gasoline. And then I heard a woof, and I looked over, and it was just flames coming up from the floor, and it just engulfed me. And then my pants were just rolling in flames, and I was trying to get them off, and then as soon as I got my belt unbuckled, it gave it air, and it just blew me up in the air, and I was totally engulfed in flames. And my friends finally, yelling at me to hit the ground. That was before stop, drop, and roll. And so I finally get on the ground. They threw a blanket over me, sprayed me with water, and called the ambulance. And I go to the St. Joe Hospital here in Mishawaka. And there was a guy out at the airport who was doing touch and goes with his new Cessna airplane. And he agreed to fly me down with my mom and dad to Riley Hospital. And I still remember being in the ambulance. I remember being in the airplane, and I remember they had my hands wrapped in bags because my hands were really severely burned. They were all 3rd degree. And when they pulled me out of the ambulance, Dr. Segura from Riley Hospital jumped up on my gurney, and he was straddled me, and he woke me up. He was slapping me, and he was just barking orders. And the nurses all came running out, and they all ran me into the hospital and got me all set up. And that's really where the amazing Riley nurses and doctors really took over. And that was the beginning of my 19 days at Riley ICU. They told me I was going to be in the hospital for over a year, and I literally walked out from Long Hospital, which is just around the corner of the campus of Riley. Back then it was. I know Riley's got a new facilities now. And I walked out of that hospital in 50 days on July the 13th on Friday the 13th. So whenever I think about Riley, the first thing I think about were they were so humble, and they were so honorable, and they treated me so well, and the nurses cared so much. And the absolute joy that I had the day that I walked out of there was incredible. Riley Burn Center at that time was just a godsend for me. And I still get sort of emotional, and I still get a little almost teary-eyed when I remember what I went through. And only because of that facility and those doctors and those nurses that I make it through, and I'm here today.